Go ahead and call this meeting to order, 6:30 p.m. If you would, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America, and the republic for stands one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty. Roll call. Citizens present.
Arnold present. Lori Easton present.
Shane Childers present. Approved meeting minutes, 7/7/26, regular meeting minutes. Move to approve 7/7/2026, regular meeting minutes.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. To approve claims, the August 2026 docket.
I move we approve the claims August 2026 docket.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Public request to speak. Topics not related to an agenda item.
I think we'll first.
Step up to the podium, state your name and your address.
My name is Wade Miller, I live at 510 North Darlington Street. And I just got a couple of things. First subject, always had a drainage issue on my corner, 510 Darlington, and it blows over to North Ash because there's no drainage. Just want to bring that up. Been living with it for a long time. And the other thing is to talk about Brightspeed. Yes, it's been a big issue going on. I give it a long years ago. Almost anything's better than what they have. There are a few things you can do rather than call them because they're really not going to spend any money here, unless they're forced to, like most companies. All your rural areas are regarded as money losers. All companies. And so the only thing you can do is open a ticket with them. Couple days. Then hopefully any information, preferably email, say that ticket number, what they did, if anything. And then open a complaint with the FCC or the Public Utilities Commission. And if they get enough complaints, Brightspeed can get filed. And if it keeps going on, they'll have to do something. Either they'll divest, get rid of this, sell it to some other company that might want it. Because Brightspeed got this because of CenturyLink. When CenturyLink bought out Level 3, they were supposed to hold on to all their rural stuff. Well, within a year, they dumped it. Remember that. You got to find a lot of money. Another thing you can do to back up any complaints, the internet, is run a speed test from your home in off hours when there's not much activity, and then during peak hours. And then you say that, and say, okay, even off hours is pretty bad. Peak hours is so you really can't do anything. So that's about okay. I just wanted to bring that up. I've been in the business, telecom, internet for 40 years. And, the past 20 years have just been money. They go after what they think is going to make them the money. And they don't really care about anything else. Rural communities, money losers, they think. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Did you say there was a website to, or what was that? to file the complaints and then if enough people file the complaints.
Yeah, FCC has a link. You can look it up real quick for FCC complaints, and then the Indiana Public Utilities Commission. And if you're gonna go through the trouble of opening a ticket and saying it all, I send it to both of them. You know, more pressure that's brought to bear. You know, in the old days, their telephone was down for 5 days, they got fined. Hell, before cell phones, that's all you had. And so I got in a situation. But yeah, that's all I can do. But hopefully, you know, and I don't do social media. But, and the people that are complaining on Facebook, it's like, spell it out, say, do this, do this, do this. You know, because you're probably not going to get any satisfaction. They might fix it, but the service isn't going to get any better. The copper plant, and they're not going to fix that. I'm sure they're outbound from this site. It's probably too small to handle traffic anyway, which is why during peak hours, slows way down. You know, you can't stick 20 gallons of water in a 5-gallon jug. That's about it. I just want to bring that up. Business for a long time. I've seen this sort of thing go on for years. They're just after the big money. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
And I got them. All right, my name is Sandy Garner and it's 98 North Darlington. Next door to the Darlington Villas. And we have a problem. It's not just me, but it's affecting us more than anyone else. Got a picture here. Can I, just so you can see, there's 30 geese right here. I had shooed them from towards our deck back to the back of our, we call it the back 40. They keep coming farther and farther and farther. And our driveway is full of their poo and other stuff, and I was trying to find a way, me and my husband was trying to find a way to try and get them to stay away. Well, they're protected for one, but I found on, it says Boone County Stormwater Technical Standards, retention ponds that are not required to have a fence. They are required to at least put native vegetation or vegetated buffer around the pond to keep the ducks from coming up from the pond. So I was wondering if there's a way to get the Darlington Villas to put the buffer up, because I'm sure they don't want to put a fence. So we do have a fence, but there's a piece of fence missing, and we're trying to get it matched up and put it up. But they have went next door and even 2 doors down from the back. They have found it away from the back. So I was wondering if that's an option or if me and my husband need to find a different solution.
Well, the geese are a federally protected bird. I know it is illegal to harm or try to maim them. So their eggs are protected. I can reach out to the county surveyor's office and ask her about the vegetation. Uh, the town doesn't own that pond. The town doesn't control that pond. That is built and maintained. If right now it's built and maintained by the developer, eventually it will be maintained by the HOA of the subdivision.
So do I need to go to Arbor Homes?
From, I knew you were coming this evening. I looked into geese.
How did you know I was coming tonight?
Because I was informed that you had a complaint about your geese.
You called the town building.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm on the council, and usually people will notify me when someone's upset.
I
Actually, they do that quite often.
I know that, well, I didn't know she was going to tell me that I was coming. I didn't think it was going to be that big of.
I didn't know it was a secret.
No.
Look, I'm trying to help you. I try to help you every single time that you call. Like I said, I knew that you were coming this evening. I looked into the geese. There's really not a lot that we can do about the geese. And as I stated, the town doesn't own the pond. The town will not maintain the pond. The pond really is not a town issue. I said I would call and talk to the county surveyor and ask about the vegetation. Because I do know, as looking into your geese problem, that the geese do not like tall vegetation because they can't see their predator. So that is something that I will call Carol and talk to her about and see if we can't work with the developer to put, I don't even know how much of it you put in. I would assume that it'd have to go all the way down the bank. I do see issues with that with maintaining the pond because you start putting native vegetation in, then moss starts growing, cattails start growing, other things start habiting in the vegetation. I am taking your concern seriously and I will look into it. But legally and technically, the town doesn't have it. It's not really a town issue.
So did all of you all know that I was coming? You did?
I went.
Does anybody know who I am? I'm the big bad woman on Arlington Street.
I think I've seen you post on Facebook before. It don't seem too bad to me.
Usually I'm a nice person,
It's
but
I think that's what he's saying. You were coming.
well, we've had some issues.
Well,
You're right, Sam. We have that some issues that I talked to the other day.
Yes,
They're federally protected birds. The town cannot control it. We had them at the fire station too. Okay? The town's not gonna go down there and shotgun the birds. The town's not gonna go down there and build a fence.
the town doesn't have any control over where they go and how they.
We can't interfere with their migration. We can't interfere.
please. I didn't know where to go. So I thought I would start with the
Yeah,
town.
and shades on the walls.
And I just want to clarify. I said I knew you were coming. It was nothing derogatory, nothing aggressive. I was informed that you were coming to discuss the geese problem. That's what I was informed of.
I think
I was also informed I don't have to explain myself, but I will, because I am very open about anything that I do. I was also informed that Mr. Miller was coming to discuss his opinion about internet. If someone calls the town and complains, if they complain to Aaron, Aaron calls me. If someone calls into the desk and complains, they either put a note in my mailbox that X called concerning Y.
Can I,
And I go through those quite frequently. I do not come into this town building every day. But I do come in and I do have access to a phone, so I get phone calls and text messages. I try to be very, very engaged.
and can I say I didn't call and complain? I called, I'm looking for answers. That's all it is. I'm just looking for answers, and you told me the town has nothing to do with it. So I don't want to bother you about it again. And I sure don't want to run into Aaron again.
And again, I want to clarify that you are not bothering me.
What?
All right, throw the fire truck.
I want to clarify that you're not bothering me. I thought that and maybe I have a disconnect in my brain, but I thought that I was answering your question.
You
I
did.
didn't think I was answering your question.
That people think that I'm complaining. I came here looking for answers. That's all it was. And we have been blessed to be able to be in our backyard, sit on our porch, get in our pool, because the summer before we had dirt and mud in our pool and stuff. So we've been blessed. I'm kind of happy, but now I've got these ducks that I've got to do something with. I'm just looking for answers. That's all. If I offended you, I am sorry.
Didn't offend me, ma'am.
Okay.
Not one bit.
I do know Hendrickson Regional Health, they have deployed, wolves statues. Coyote or wolf statues.
Wolf statues. Yes, that's, they're fixing that. Don't put a wolf in your yard.
Right, no. But they have got, statues of them, and it does keep them away a lot better, because.
Or an owl.
But you gotta.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's something you could try that wouldn't cost a whole lot to get. Because I know at work, people having trouble with birds, and it's wild statues out on the terrace.
oh, a statue. Large.
No.
Yeah.
That's what everything does.
We're gonna move on.
Oh, I would like to say moles, if you're having trouble with moles, the poison worms, perfect. It's ruined.
Anyone else?
Hi, everyone. My name is David, and I am not actually a cult leader. For those of you who don't know, I'm the man who the eerily similar to Waco incident, well, in some ways, happened to on my property, just outside of town limits, and I can get into why this is a town issue if I need to. But first of all, I wanted to, I guess, let everybody know what actually happened and what didn't happen. And as far as what happened, I didn't actually count on the cameras, but something like 100 members of law enforcement showed up to my property to execute a gigantic raid. When I said it was similar in some ways to Waco, I believe it was actually a fairly equivalent show of force to the Waco, Texas incident. And I'm comparing it to Waco because local law enforcement apparently, and I don't mean Aaron here, I don't believe he was involved in that. Local law enforcement circulated an officer safety email amongst the entire county saying that I was a David Koresh type figure. I was terrified of law enforcement. And Shane might find that interesting, given I showed up and talked to him and local law enforcement for 2.5 hours, saying things like, I will unequivocally answer any questions law enforcement has. I unequivocally consider law enforcement to be an ally, not my enemy. I'm just trying to talk to someone to give them whatever information they want, answer whatever questions they would like to have answered. That was actually the only time I was ever able to talk to law enforcement. I requested a large number of times to talk with Marshall Clapp, and I might be wrong here, but and maybe you remember Shane. Is it Mr. Lecter? Am I pronouncing that right? The town investigator? With you and I, Christian Lecter, is that how you pronounce his name? Litcher. Okay. Christian Litcher, I believe, and I'd have to go back and listen to the recording to be sure. It's been a while since I have. Told me that Marshall Clapp had been told not to speak with me. So that may not be Marshall Clapp's fault that he did not speak with me. I did try on a large number of occasions. Because after being the subject of an active investigation that, by the way, ultimately uncovered no evidence whatsoever of criminal activity, I had my entire property combed by I don't know how many dozen investigators from multiple agencies. No evidence whatsoever of criminal activity was found because there was never any to find. And this is the most important thing I want to say here. No evidence of criminal activity keeps being found in regard to me and my wife, Crystal. That seems to just be making people more suspicious of us. Well, oh, he's so smart, he must be hiding it. So it must be something even worse than we thought. The problem with that rationale is it never ends. I can't prove a negative. I cannot prove that I'm not a criminal. I cannot prove that I'm not a supervillain either. And that's what it seems to be the impression was of me. And I want to be clear here. I'm not condemning law enforcement for what happened. Law enforcement was criminally misled by a group of false informers. I'm not going to go into that in great detail here, but I have irrefutable evidence of that fact. Recorded evidence, recorded in court dockets. And I would very, very much like to talk to members of local law enforcement, namely Marshall Clapp, that were involved in the receipt of this false informing. I'm not saying that Marshall Clapp necessarily fell outside of the lines of his duty in helping to investigate that information, because after all, the types of things that were claimed about me, that I torture and kill animals, that I might be a serial killer, these were the delusions of grandeur of a person who is deeply mentally disturbed. And I'm really, really sorry that it had to go as far as it did. And that is why I've been trying to talk to law enforcement. And props to Shane. Shane actually arranged the one time I was able to. I thought it would all be over at that point. I thought, well, if there are any questions, given that I've told a member of law enforcement multiple times. I mean, this is a 2.5 hour long interview. Where, by the way, the main purpose of the interview was us trying to inform the town and local law enforcement that we were being terrorized by drones on our property. When they showed up to do that raid, they said it was because I was using a drone to do the whole peeping Tom thing on my neighbors. Now that is irony. We filed police reports about this too. It was also claimed that we were 3D printing weapons, manufacturing weapons on the property and distributing them to a criminal organization. I don't know any criminal organizations, and the only 3D printers I have are sitting in front of a huge open window with no blind, where anyone, certainly somebody that's using drones to surveil us, which has been done for a long time, can clearly see I 3D print toys to sell on Amazon. I haven't made any weapons. For those of you who don't know much about 3D printing weapons is, I was about to say pardon my French, but I'll avoid the French. It's an idiotic thing to do. And you're likely to kill yourself 3D printing a weapon and shooting it. That's an overblown fantasy. What else can I say? Oh, in regards to, I mean, what I'm saying about how far this actually went, it wasn't just that there were like 100 members of law enforcement that showed up and raided my property, allegedly because I was being a peeping Tom with a drone after having a 2.5 hour long interview with Shane and Mr. Lecter about that very subject, that being done to us. For filing police reports about that being done to us. There were, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 Bearcats. And if you don't know what a Bearcat is basically a police version of an armored patrol carrier. It's not far off from a tank. Crystal and I were pulled out of our property where I had a couple dozen automatic assault rifles pointed at me, yelling the whole time, "You're safe, you're okay, you're safe, you're okay." I hope that body cam footage never needs to be circulated. I gotta say, I mean, I didn't get shot, I didn't get roughed up, nothing terrible happened, other than that millions of dollars of taxpayer resources were wasted. Utterly and completely wasted. And man, I've been trying to prevent that from happening for so long. But again, it's hard to prove your own innocence. You can't prove a negative. I have a lot of evidence of the kind of person I am, the kind of person Crystal and I have been for a long time. I've been a business owner my whole life. Crystal, who is supposedly this brainwashed victim of mine, the woman who started up 5 startups with me, 5 successful startups out of nothing. It's despicable the way that she's been treated and looked at by people involved in this. But again, law enforcement was misled, maliciously misled. And when we were dragged out of our home after a battering ram smashed down our door, and keep in mind, I've never been formally accused of any violent act.
I don't want to cut you off. I'm a believer that everyone has a right to speak. We do have a rule of 3 to 5 minutes. I do not like to enforce that rule.
It's okay, Shane.
I just want you to have your right to say whatever you want. But we are going on almost 10 minutes.
Thank you for extending me the extra time. Well, I'll finish up then, and I was finishing up anyway. I'm sorry to take up all of your time. This is obviously kind of important to me. I like to think I've done a lot for this town. Thousands of dollars donated to the JCP. Although Aaron told me that he was close to getting a grant and ended up not taking me up on the offer. When he told me that their body armor was past its usable service life, I offered to buy a new body armor for the entire Jamestown Police Department. It's a real shame that despite my actual actions, things that can be proven, things that are on the record, actual actions, all of these things that are all based on completely uncorroborated events with no evidence whatsoever, they all led to this. And in closing, after Crystal and I were dragged out of our house, those Bearcats and battering rams breached our house another, I believe, 3 times, and to the point that one of our walls was knocked off the foundation. Our home was ripped apart. That's it. And again, thank you, Shane, for giving me the one opportunity I had to speak with law enforcement about this, and I'm sorry I didn't do that.
Just want to point out that in your comments there, you said a couple times in reference to Chris and I meeting with you as an interview. At no time.
I just to be clear, I requested the meeting. Maybe Christian didn't consider it an interview, but to be clear, I was freely and willingly and openly providing information without Christian even really having to ask questions. I was doing my best to provide information without an attorney present, and of my own volition.
I just want to make sure that it is on record that at no time did the town, the Jamestown Police Department, or myself perform an interview.
Shane asked me if it would be okay if a member of law enforcement was present, and I wholeheartedly encouraged that to be the case. So to be clear, Mr. Childress did not ambush me with the presence of a law enforcement official. I asked for it. Does that answer all of your questions? I'm happy to answer any other questions that any of you might have. All good? All right. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, everyone. Have a good evening.
Hi, I'm Susie Rich. Everybody knows crazy I am. First of all, I would like to just say thank you to everyone who was involved with the pancake breakfast and the dedication of the virtual and Mary Catherine Bench Park building. Fantastic building. They, for our entire community. Thank you to everyone that was involved. I cannot mention all of you because I'll miss one person. I know there's a lot of work by paid employees, by the town, a lot of volunteer work, a lot of volunteer items. It's wonderful. Thank you, guys. We do appreciate it. We don't tell you enough, but we appreciate it. Bye.
I didn't hear something positive. Anyone else? John? Sewer plant update?
Hello, good evening, council. For an update, the wastewater treatment plant project was substantially complete on June 23rd, so it's been about a month and a half now. This past weekend, there's about 5.5 inches of rain, talking with Josh over the course of, 24 hours or so, and it performed rather well. Josh noted a couple minor things that I've informed Reynolds about and we'll get addressed, but it overall did a great job. Reynolds is about 80% done with their punch list items, so they're wrapping up everything associated with the base project. We do have the last couple of meetings. I've talked about the effluent sewer replacement. That I'm talking with Josh and Shane and everyone about replacing that, adding a new 18-inch sewer to replace the old 10-inch clay pipe. That work change directive has been circulated and approved. So that'll be a use of the contingency funds that are left on the project to get that work done, and that should be starting in the next couple weeks to get that sewer replaced. So it's really about all I've got there on the wastewater plant. So again, getting real close to getting that base project fully complete and then starting on the additional work for the effluent sewer replacement. Any questions y'all might have?
No, I have nothing. Just bye, John.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Josh, International Drive Extension.
A few weeks ago, I had a meeting with the Boone County Highway Department. I forget what Nick Parr's official job title is now, but he's kind of like a manager of the county, so to speak. To go over joint venture on extending International Drive over. We are at a point to start making decisions. Which you guys make decisions. One is there is an application that is due in November. For that application to go in, there has to be a joint. Let me see if I phrase this right. Both the county and Jamestown will have to have a joint venture, basically letter saying that we will take responsibility for our money due in the county as well, because part of the road is in the county, part of it's in ours, so it's got to be written that it's a joint venture. The county's going to take care of said letters, but I'll forward them on to you when that's ready if they decide to move forward. Yes, there you go. That's what I was trying to think of.
And a joint board.
Yes. So with that, we had discussions on purchasing of the easement land or the land for the road easement. There were some questions on if we could facilitate that before we went any farther with the federal money. It would help out as far as it lessens the depth of environmental studies that have to go on. The environmental study is a year-long project. If we use federal money to purchase the land, which adds a lot of, they go all the way down to the insects. So, but that is, we can facilitate getting it, which I've already made a comment to the RDC about possibly coming back and talking to them this month about getting money from them to fund that. So it saves us money and steps down the line if we can go ahead and facilitate the road easement now. The cost of it will be divided on whose responsibilities, part of the roads responsibilities in the county, parts of ours. So it'll be divided up in that aspect. So how much of the road is in the county pays for, how much of the road is ours is ours. The county is put us in their budget. They will take care of all the cost up front. We just have to pay our portion back. That's part of the interlocal agreement letters that will get written out. And by that, I mean, with any federal money, you always have some that you got to pay out of pocket. So that's the part of it. So I am seeking your guys' permission to move forward with getting the interlocal agreement started and to approach the RDC on funding. What?
How many cars? Do you think that's really gonna help?
Oh, it'll help with the new housing addition out there. That'll help eliminate a lot of the traffic down Darlington and Elm and those kind of things.
Still a lot of this.
So by doing that, the International Drive will actually, because that's when Purvis was agreeable to take it through their field, will actually end up at one of the entrances, the northern entrance of the housing division, end up right across from it. So it is a straight thoroughway for the housing development to get over to the interstate and stuff like that. So it'll eliminate quite a bit of traffic in the mornings and evenings, which in return will also help any buses and that kind of thing from, little kids from dealing with that kind of stuff. So just so everybody's aware, the federal money part of it is not a right now type of situation. It is to get onto a future budget, which I believe is 130 right now is the budget that we're looking at. So a lot of footsteps on this will, there's a lot of steps we have to go through to get this. So the county is very helpful and is willing to take the lead on most of this because they have dealt with this a lot in the past with the grants and stuff like that from the federal government. So like I said, I'm just looking for your guys' permission.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
That it would be a joint venture with an interlocal agreement.
Correct.
Who's drafting the interlocal agreement? Us or the county?
The county is drafting it, but it's got to go through our lawyer for approval, to get our side. He's pretty good at negotiating that part of it. So.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, and Patrick, this is probably more for you. The interlocal agreement, if the RDC agrees to fund this for the town's portion, is the interlocal agreement just between the town and the county, or is the RDC need to be a party to it as well?
Yeah, we have to think about that. We probably want to talk to your attorney also. And more about this.
If the RDC wishes to give the town the money and the town can do it from there.
Yeah, right.
Releases liability of the RDC.
Just wanted to be sure.
And I'm not, I just,
No, I don't know.
It's fine.
Yes.
So just to be upfront so everybody understands, when I'm talking about buying the easement land, the town would buy the easement land because it is not in the county's budget this year to pay.
So
We would be paying the full amount, which is the average was, between the two estimates was like 150,500, something like that was the average between the two estimates or the appraisals of the property for the road. So,
so then we would own it or no?
yes, we will own the land, correct. It's just the fact that once the road is built, that's where the interlocal agreement comes in, because more likely we will do all the plowing, we will do all the paving, so basically what money the county gets will get written to us for the maintenance and all that stuff. That's what the interlocal agreement, they have several with Whitestown and Zionsville. Because there's sections of roads in the same situation. So.
He's looking for, we can move forward. So we want to make a motion. All of the.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Just move forward and we'll
I just want to make sure.
talk about the project.
I didn't overstep my bounds since I will be representing to go talk to the RDC on the funding part of it, so that's what I want to make sure of.
I just want to make sure the interlocal agreement runs through Patrick twice. It may be a third time, but definitely 2 times, so.
But no, I would not, it's contract parts, we make sure Patrick sees all that stuff, so. Especially on something like this, because we gotta look out for ourselves in the future on anything. So.
No, I did buy it when one.
Also, so the town is aware of, during this conversation, I have found out that we actually own more road than what we thought we owned. When we incorporated, I guess even before then, the part of Darlington Street that we paved, that was been ours since the 70s. So evidently, when we annex one side of the road, we don't just go to half the road, we get the whole road. So after the Hoskins residents up there, from their property to that next curve, that section of the road is ours, and Old Pumping Station Road, all the way from 136 up to 2 East property where the house is. That was annexed back in the early 2000s. That is ours as well. The county said, they'll still plow it, all that stuff. They're not worried about that, but they wanted to make you aware that.
I just want to point out, Toomey Homestead is not annexed to the town.
Correct.
They're in the county, it's the field and James.
Correct. That's what I was meaning, was the property line there. Up to their property line, not past, including their property. So, yes, which we just got a letter on things the county and Jamestown and CSX are all deficient by the state standards on signage and stuff like that at the railroad crossings, which we are working in our email and see calls. So we could get some answers on what they're responsible for and us responsible for. But they also in that letter made the mention that there is grant money from them to take care of the markings and stuff like that. So I'm waiting on his answer that he got, so I can know what I need to report.
Have to order signs, we are responsible for those signs.
Okay.
Are responsible for the painting on our streets,
Okay.
not State Road 75.
Right. Just Darlington High Street, and now that we know that Old Pumping Station Road is our responsibility. That's,
Is it part of the town's road inventory?
it is not yet. So
Make sure
I just meant, right. So that's what, we corrected International Drive year before last and added it in because it was never added. So we will have to do the same thing. So next month will be, an ordinance to, I forget what it was. We had to go, the council signed it. It was an ordinance saying that it was added to our road inventory.
Yes, so you're right. I remember now.
But on that, we go,
Actually done.
it goes around the house to the tree line all the way back. It almost, basically, but their house is not annexed in. Gotcha.
The big barn is, but the house is not.
So,
Only one. I can understand. Oh.
Joshua,
Okay.
somebody good patiently waiting. New business, consider appointing a representative to the Emergency Advisory Council. Boone County do, sure most of you do not know, but, this is Boone County's new EMA director, Megan Bonte. She was appointed last month, right?
Yeah.
Well, about last 45 days or so.
Yeah, right after Fourth of July. So Megan Bonte, new EMA director, technically interim EMA director because there is no EMA advisory board currently in Boone County, which is state code 10-14 that we have to have an advisory council, which includes a representative from each town's legislative board, fire chiefs, police, all of that all come together on this board to help better the county for emergencies and emergency management, planning, all of that stuff. So I'm coming to you. You guys get to choose who sits on the EMA advisory board. Right now, since it's never existed in the past, I'm working with Indiana Department of Homeland Security and other EMAs to figure out how those function. But it will be a quarterly meeting during the day. Yeah, sure, we gotta get that on the books, but yes. So I'm here to answer any questions you have, talk through things if you want it. You guys don't have to decide now, but looking for possibly starting meetings in September.
Starting meetings in September.
So we can at least get 2 on the books before the end of the year.
Only one a day.
Yeah.
Because we won't meet again, and then we want to have a meeting.
Yeah.
I have the perfect candidate for you. Cookie does.
Yes, I do. I would like Chief Joe Weiner. I think would be.
I'll accept it for you.
I was small and full, I think is what that was.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm more than one now.
Joe, Fire Chief Joe Weiner to the Emergency Advisory Council.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
My next question for you is, how long is that appointment good for? Please don't say a month.
No, good question. I'm not really sure at this point.
So you guys will get all this put together.
Yes.
Then Joe will report to say that.
Yeah.
He's booked for 4 years or whatever.
So you're gonna be.
That's Park.
You're making your rules kind of as you go.
We'll put that all together. I'm assuming somewhere deep in the code, there is rules on that, or someone has come up with some somehow. Yeah, so that's all kind of work in progress, but I'll keep in contact with them and I'll let you guys know. It's gonna be at least a year, but I'm not sure. It may be up to you guys at that point. If you vote of confidence if we get rid of whatever point. So we can go from there. Any questions?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Ordinance 2026-07, amending ordinance 2026-02, the sale of alcohol. Patrick?
Yeah, so this is just a minor tweak passed earlier this year. Part of that ordinance that was passed earlier this year required people wanting to sell the town event. I don't think the town, and I think it's the state is in control of the issuance of permits, so this is just so straightforward. If it is the general council's desire to adopt this on one reading, then I'm glad to do it. The motion is to suspend the rules and consider ordinance 26-07 on one reading. Then do a second motion to accept or vote down.
I move to approve, I move to consider, suspend the rules and consider on the first reading ordinance 2026-07, amending ordinance 2026-07.
I will second.
All in favor? Aye.
I move to approve ordinance 2026-07, amending ordinance 2026-02, sale of alcohol.
Let me get this straight. We're having just two events that we'll be at, right? Is that Sign Fest and Fish Fry? All right, then I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Ordinance 2026-08, amending ordinance violation attorney fees.
Sure. So the purpose of this ordinance is it was discovered that there's a gap in the town code that effectively the council are permitted to assess attorney fees if they're required to enforce ordinance violations or violations of the town code. That was not provided for under the current town code as presently written. So this is adding a mechanism for folks who violate a town ordinance that if the town is forced to pursue them in court, the town can get its attorney fees as a result of that. I can answer any questions, but it's the same as previously. It's an ordinance. So if the town's desire to suspend the rules to consider an on one reading, then except for to ordinance 2026-08.
We move to suspend the rules and approve on the first reading ordinance 2026-08, amending ordinance violation of training fees.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move to approve ordinance 2026-08, amending ordinance violation of training fees.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Ordinance 2026-09, amending 90.18 of the town code. And you're doing such a good job, Patrick.
So the purpose of this ordinance, the current town code as it is written, prohibits folks living within the town limits from keeping certain sorts of domesticated livestock on their property. One of the things that were listed was fowl, so FOWL. It just operates on chickens, ducks, turkeys, quail, guinea fowl, domesticated pigeons. Same thing, it's an ordinance. So you are not wanting to consider it on the one reading, which is suspend the rules, then vote on it either in favor or opposed.
I can do it. Okay. And then the rules on approval on the first reading ordinance 2026-09, amending 90.18 of town code.
All in favor?
Aye. To approve ordinance 2026-09, amending 90.18 of town code.
All in favor? Aye. Resolution 2026-08, FIT CVET distributions. Lori.
So. In one.
It is.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So the state has said that they used to tell us where to put FIT and CVET, and now the council can choose any fund and be used for the purposes that that fund is, to be used for. So I would just like to put it in the general fund. Most of it goes in there anyways, but a little bit goes here, a little bit goes there. So I would just like to get that just put it all in the general fund, because we have to say where it needs to go now.
Questions?
It's 5 minutes. You're gonna know. So state code now requires us to say where we want it to go. So if we wanted it to go, in the MBH fund or, somewhere like that. We can say where it goes. So you don't have to. So, right, so now when I receive it, I will receive it, 2 times a year. And then I will just receive it all to the general fund, and $14 won't go to this fund, and, $25 won't go for it. We have to do on the first reading.
Yeah, a bunch of resolutions, so.
I move that we approve resolution number 2026-08, a resolution designating now financial institutions tax funds and commercial vehicle excise tax funds will be deposited by the clerk treasurer of the town, state of Indiana.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Resolution 2026-09, budget reduction.
Okay, so the budget reductions. Last year I budgeted for a police car from the CCD fund and paving for, from MBH local road and street. And MBH restricted, so we will not be spending those monies this year, so in order to budget that money next year, I have to reduce those appropriations this year. So, I'm reducing the CCD by $80,000. Local road and street by $80,000, MVH restricted by $100,000, and MVH by $60,000. We have anything left? Not a lot. I mean, we're not going to spend it until we do the paving. And Josh said that by the time we go for the CCMG matching grant, that the paving asphalt places will be closed. So, we won't. We're gonna bid out the project, so we won't be able to spend that money this year.
We're gonna spend it, but this isn't gonna be in the 26, it will not be in the 26 calendar.
Okay. Right, so when we do our budget, we'll appropriate it next year. Okay.
I move to approve resolution 2026-09, the budget reduction.
Second.
Yeah, I need a roll call vote on this.
Okay,
Paul?
Shane Childers, how do you vote?
okay, hang on a minute. Okay. Ben, you made a motion, right? Cookie seconded. Okay.
Okay.
The motion passed. Okay. Now you need a roll call vote.
Well, just, I need to know ayes and nays.
Carol Lee,
Aye.
Shane Childress, aye. Ben Stokes, aye. Resolution 2026-10. This is a resolution for the fire department. For a touch truck food drive on the 12th day of September 2026. The town council appoints the members of the Jamestown Volunteer Fire Department to organize and carry out all duties for this event. Questions?
Resolution 2026-2.
A second. All in favor? Aye. To consider quote for S&K equipment. Josh, want to explain this?
If you remember last month, I brought it to your attention when we did the pump upgrade at the main lift station that we found that the controller was not operating correct. This is for the fix of that. I had it put on the agenda. I've talked to Reynolds and John about we can add this to and run it through the bot and put it through the contingency money so that it does not come out of our budget. So I just wanted to make sure I already had it on our agenda. And it still needs approval because it was extra money, out of the contingency fund. But this takes care of the new controller and removes the backup float system from the controller. So currently, the backup floats run through the controller. So if that controller goes out, that lift station is no good. The backup float should be a standalone unit itself. So that way, if something ever happens to PLC controller, whatever, that it can still function. So I always assumed that it was a separate system because that's how it always is. But this was not. This was actually tied in through the controller. So therefore, if it decides to completely go out, we do not have any way of controlling it other than somebody standing there for 24/7 until it's fixed, turning it on and off. So,
John, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If they're running that through the, as a change order, wouldn't that be a change order for the bot?
No, it wouldn't be a change order. It doesn't exceed their contract amounts. It's that part of their it would be part of the contingency.
Okay,
because we can add,
right, but we just signed a document for $275,000.
correct, there was 300,000.
Right, is this gonna be another one of those documents?
No, because this was a smaller amount. I believe when we set it all up, there was only certain amounts that had to be
Oh, okay,
upfront.
okay. So really, they don't have to sign it.
No, they do not. We just need your, like I said,
I mean, technically, he's being, I guess, open.
right.
Technically, he could have said, John, we're just gonna go ahead and put this. Technically, he could have done that. And it's well within the spending limit, he could have just bought it.
Right. So I just wanted to make sure, like I said, I brought it up last month and we make sure that it went in front of you before we passed it along through Reynolds and had them go that way. So. So John, I guess you can get a hold of Dan tomorrow and tell him we're gonna go run it through them.
Okay, sounds good, Josh. Good job explaining that.
Clerk treasurer,
Okay, so I just wanted to say that we have received all the payments from Comcast for the utility full work, so all has been paid. I moved $857,000 to Trust Indiana, and if we leave them there for a month, we should receive about $2,500 in interest per month. So I just thought that would be, earning 3.65% interest instead of 2. I also moved depreciation of $100,000 to Trust Indiana. That's what we're going to use to pay for the new utility shed, and I mean, we're only going to earn about $300 a month on that. Last month, I attended the initial West meetings for both Hendricks and Boone counties. They just laid out the processes in the first meeting. The second meeting for Boone County is scheduled for August 20th at 1:30 p.m. Hendricks County meetings are in person and Boone counties are via Teams. You'll notice in your packets that our health insurance renewal will see an increase of 13%. It was 18%, but our agents spoke with them and we got them to go with 13%. And that will be about a $14,055 a year increase to the town. Providing you with the current insurance and some of the optional ones. And as you can see, the current ones are, they're all about the same cost, but this Anthem, FBA or whatever, they don't have as high as the deductible, out of pocket, and the copay. So I'm gonna go with the Anthem, the one we currently have, and not the other Anthem. That's the second page. So as part of the Boone County Indiana Tax Council, we need to schedule a public hearing for ordinance 2026-10. This is for the PSLA increase of 1% for the whole county. But we're only voting on Jamestown's part. The notice has to be published 10 days before the hearing. First date I can publish it is Tuesday, August 11th. Therefore, the first available public hearing date can be Friday, August 21st. So we have to adopt this ordinance before the 28th. So what day would you guys like to use?
And a cookie.
August 25th would be the only time.
You need to tell her what night.
Seriously, unless the 25th. If it's actually the 21st. I can do it to possibly the 20th. It's Friday, if you want to do it on Friday. If we want to wait till that following, just any night,
That's up to you guys.
What's the first one you do?
21st. August 21st.
Friday. Either that Friday or that Monday. Or Wednesday. Monday.
Now, maybe you said the 25th.
25th on
Tuesday.
He cannot do it.
Oh, okay. I said that was the only day you could do it.
24th and 26th.
Doesn't sound like should be good anyway.
I say get it done as soon as possible.
Okay.
Whatever day works for you guys, I just say get it
What
done as
time of
soon as
day?
possible.
In kind of the property. Long on the property. Won't be with the property.
We're talking just 24 months, right? 20 years ago.
I know they're from Friday, right? Well, I was,
You want one,
yeah,
one for this one, and anytime like this. That's why.
As long as they're just,
Running this, that makes it.
be all right. I'll throw it on you.
so the 24th, is that what you said? Yes.
24, 6 o'clock.
Sounds good.
You know, it shouldn't be real
I'm
long.
assuming 9 a.m.
Right.
Right. It's gonna be a public hearing, so.
August 24th, 26, at 6 o'clock.
Yes. So next I need to start, I need to schedule budget meetings with you guys. I got to submit my full grade by August 2nd.
Intervention meetings as in.
Meeting, no, just meeting. We just usually have one meeting, we didn't. You get it all done.
5 this year. I'm kidding, there's 5 this year.
No. So, don't know when you guys want to do that.
Sooner the better.
Soonest. You got it.
You want to do it yet in August?
I have to have my Form 3 submitted by August 22nd.
Oh. That's the 7th.
So it has to be
It cannot be the 13th.
right. Right. So, I'll open for Friday, whenever, just before the 22nd. You mean the 21st?
So
The 11th.
it's a Tuesday, a week from today.
11th? Time.
Anytime after. Pretty much any night next week. I believe.
Well,
Do what? Is that the night?
oh, I can
Okay.
do the 14th though, if you said it, the 11th. I haven't told her. So. Just saying.
So I can't hear. Do I got a basketball game to go to on the 11th or not?
If you want to, we can do it the 11th or the 14th. So. Just keep one of those nights open.
If I make this meeting for the 11th, will I miss Caitlin? Just more worried about something. Oh, I went last year and she was hurt. I didn't get to see her play.
Well.
Vicky, do you have a preference?
No, I don't.
Can we do it the 12th?
As long as it's an evening, yeah.
Yes, it'll be an evening.
Okay. So the 12th, yeah?
Yep, August 12th, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Does the department heads need to be here?
That's up to you. Not necessarily.
Joe, are you available the 12th? 6 o'clock? Yes. Yes. Aaron? Josh?
As far as I know, I am, yes.
Will the three put that on your calendar, please?
Just there. Josh, I'm right there.
Okay, August 12th, 6 o'clock, budget, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a public meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. I know sometimes they are
The
not.
only time you're not public is if it's an executive session and it's back there.
Okay, great.
It's not really a public meeting.
Yeah,
Well,
public meeting.
budget's fine.
They can come.
If you wanted to come, yeah, you can. But no, it's not a public meeting,
Okay.
Yeah.
but anybody's welcome to come.
All right.
Is that it for Lori?
Yes, that's all I know.
Patrick?
I've got nothing.
That,
Happy
thank you for coming to.
Oh, it was great. It was a fantastic time.
That's great. Thank
Yeah,
you for
yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Josh?
Give an update on the shop addition. We did get our permits approved. We are talking, I'm waiting for confirmation, but sometime in September for the construction to actually start. Next month, I will have everything ready to surplus. The lawnmower, our new one finally came in. So I'll get everything ready for next month's meeting, so it can be surplus along with some old weed eaters that there's a couple other,
How many lawnmowers are you surplusing?
two. There's the Dixie chopper and the Toro that we replaced. Then there's some just old motors and pumps and things like that that needs to be surplus and we can dispose of. So I will have that ready for next month.
And that will clean out that building, right?
That'll clean up a lot of stuff. Yes.
Do you stop the lawnmower that the park board has?
That's the Dixie
Oh,
chopper.
my gosh.
So there's that. There's the old metal desk that is listed on our, that was in the control room that we no longer have a room floor type thing, stuff like that. So we can, clean house up there.
Stereo needs to go to the museum.
So well, actually the stereo is mine, but I'm getting there. So on North Darlington Street, it has come to my attention that we, a lot of the mailboxes are literally right at the edge of the road. I have talked to Ben about this and see what, the requirements on the mailboxes are. Ben said there's not really a requirement. It's one of those where we need to talk, I believe, notify the postmaster and the deliverer on those things. There are a few options. One is to contact the homeowners and see if they'll move it themselves. The other is we go down there and just let them know and then relocate them back off the road. I have not noticed any that are in disarray or anything like that. So then basically if we did it, it would be literally go down there, pothole some doors, move them back type thing. The reason for this is being right at the edge of the road, people tend to ride to the center of the roads because they're afraid of hitting their mirrors or whatever onto the mailbox. This is, I foresee it as a safety issue. Once traffic starts picking up a little bit more on Darlington Street. So,
A friend of mine has had his mailbox on Darlington tagged like 20 times.
right. And that's what I'm getting at. It's right there. So I'm seeking permission in what direction we need to handle. This is where Patrick comes in on this one too.
Right, because I have a question concerning what he's wanting to do. So right now, Ben gets to cruise down through there and he stays on the road and flings that mail into the mailboxes. Now Josh is wanting to set those boxes back. Now, citizen A, B, C, and D all walk across the street and get their mail. And now the mailman is dropping off
edge, so there has to be a berm or a shoulder.
I'm not wanting to go that far off, so the mailboxes that are set back enough are at least 6 to 8 inches, the face of it 6 to 8 inches off. And that's all, I want to stay within a 10 to 12 inches off the road, so that way.
It'd be good, that way we wouldn't have to get into those approaches.
So.
Yeah, cause I don't wanna get into that.
Right.
Because then you have citizen A mad because citizen B is walking across and the gravel's over there and it's washing out into her yard and their mower's slinging it.
It'll
You know what I
get,
mean?
it'll get muddy and the carrier,
Right.
been there, done
And
that.
that's actually, I brought that up to
6 to 8 inches. Should be fine, but still.
And
See a video, they got a little handicap or way down.
Got those two. So if you want to use those when it's snowing. So I think, yeah, if you talk with postmaster or if you catch that carrier out, that would be my first one.
Okay.
Send a letter to the property owners too.
Right, that's,
Yeah, I'm see who's gonna be upset if you move it back and who's not gonna be here. And we'll.
Basically, all of them have boxes up through there.
yes.
Maybe include a diagram of what you're doing, only showing 6 to 8 inches.
Because like I said, it's used to, there was only 3 stops down Darlington. Over the years, it's kind of got a little farther and more stops on there. One stop would be where that yellow I-beams were with one stop, and then right there at the corner of Elm and Darlington used to be about 10 to 12 mailboxes that sat there, and I think it's down to like 6 or 8.
Because the
So-
carrier gets paid more stuff.
Right. Right. So,
You want one in front of everybody's house, not from Walgreens.
right. And if it is one of those where we do have to move it, like I said, most of them it's pretty much just getting theirs up and moving it back. I don't see, too many that we'd ever have to buy like a whole new post or anything like that. It's pretty much just moving back, but I thought the best thing to do is ask and see if any of the homeowners do that. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's assuming it's in the right of way.
It is. Oh,
Yeah, and if it's creating a safety hazard, I mean. Yeah.
Right.
So I would agree with that.
Okay.
Sort of response to you.
All right. One last thing is I will not be here for the September meeting. I will be on vacation. I will go to the ocean.
And I have a question for you.
Yes.
What do you do with the rest of the electric and the stuff at the downtown building?
I'm trying to work on that yet this week. My issue been, I've just been, every time I think I'm gonna get a chance to work on it, it hasn't happened. But Thursday, they're calling for a rain day and all that stuff, so pick up a few things that we were missing so that I can get that finished up.
Hang on before you leave.
This.
This is my 2 cents on Darlington. If the mailboxes need to be moved. I understand sending the homeowners a letter. I think that 95% of those families that live on Darlington Street have been inconvenienced enough. If the town is looking at moving the mailboxes for a safety concern, the town can move the mailboxes. They have had enough to deal with. They don't need, well, now they want me to move my damn mailbox.
Well, they'll also be
To
consistent.
say that if we want the mailboxes moved for a safety concern, you can take the hydrant back up there one day, go through and pot them all and come back and fill it in with stone or foam. I do not believe that it's on the citizens. I don't want to see it put on the citizens. That's my opinion.
Probably more something.
That's a good thought.
Be honest.
I would still send the letter.
Yes.
Just to.
We'll try to set up a week or something where we'll be in the area doing it, so that way we can give everybody a farewell notice that we're going to be doing that.
Right. Okay, quick question, Josh. Does the town have access to a full-size excavator, or do you ever need one?
We have backhoe and we have a hydrovac trailer.
Got a full size that doesn't get used very often. Just checking to make sure you weren't leasing one.
No, we have our own. Aaron,
Good evening. We give you the report for July. It's pretty quiet. Preface that, with 25 traffic stops on the road on ticket. 16 written warnings. That's 6 runs assisting other law enforcement agencies, 3 runs assisting fire and EMS. We had 8 cases reports. 1 was for a civil disturbance, 2 domestics, 2 dog issues, 1 lost license plate, 1 theft, 1 found property. We had 2 burglar alarms and 2 domestics, 1 civil disturbance, 1 report suspicious activity, 1 investigation ongoing. 3 extra patrols, 1 civil assertive, 21 police services. We had 3 runs for animal, livestock, claims. We had 8 ordinance services, 5 were warning letters sent out, 6 citations. We had 5 vehicles tagged, 4 of those were on 1 property. We did not have to remove any vehicles, I had 6 inspections, all of us. Approximate hours spent. The ordinance violation side of things was 5 1/4. 85 calls for service alone. We received a complaint about a property on Stockton Street. That had quite a bit of junk rubbish in vehicles. It's been an issue. The owner wasn't happy I was there, but they did take care of it. I was very happy with the results. From what it was to what it is now, it was fast improvement. I'm super appreciative that that get it taken care of. Dollar General got a couple of tickets due to their just inane response to numerous violations, complete inaction. In my travels, I've discovered the basic gist of how they run their business in every town. Darlington, Crawfordsville, Wayne all look like.
North Salem, Rochdale,
They all look
Belmore.
flipping condemned if it wasn't for the yellow gold line, like night sky. I understand Pam has been talking to someone from Goodlettsville about making good on these violations. They did mow. They're on the cusp of another violation. They are under continuous abatement at this time. They received warning, 2 citations this year. 3 separate violations in the calendar year. I read that as it's time to abate it. If you don't, we will. Just pay some dude to mow. We got it everywhere. I don't know why it's that difficult. They acted like it was the first time they'd ever heard of the subject. So I've seen their headquarters. It's gorgeous. They mow that. I did have to get a different town phone. I got a box. I did find one. My old phone. When I became an instructor for the academy for Evo, it was heated out a window of a moving Dodge Charger, covered in a state that still functioned. It finally went to be with the big Samsung in the sky. I've lost a considerable amount of content. No idea.
It's probably a trick one, so.
It's the same symbols. It didn't pull any, pulled like three numbers. I don't know why it did back.
Maybe you didn't, but I'm just saying, we have a detailed list of your phone number, remember on the phone number. You know what I mean? You have to tell me.
Yeah. Camera system. I don't want to spring anything on the board. Detective Richard speaking about 2021, we had gotten a grant from Boone County Emergency Management for it's about $95,000 for a full upgrade for body camera and in-car video cloud storage through utility, which is called Force Dems today, or something else tomorrow. But that vendor, we're under a contract, like a lease agreement with them. And that agreement will end in spring of 2027. So we're going to find another grant. Obviously, we can't swing the $95,000 for another 5-year agreement. We will need less, but just we ended up not utilizing all the body cameras. We'll save. Well, I don't know if we'll save anything. I know it costs. I'm hoping it's in the round, but we're going to be needing to look for a funding source for that. Chris, so I may call you something. So what that was. So I'm available for questions. I'd love to have Chris.
I've got grant fund, it should matter. So is that, you were just leasing them?
Yeah, we didn't put property tax on it. So it's all through the vendor. Axon's similar. They own the equipment, they just lease it. Hey, man. Oh, we did have thought we had a great fish fry. Despite the weather. 3 of our 4 reserves make it grateful to them. I think everybody had a good time. We did not have any issues. We had some blast they couldn't go, and so and maybe you can get with JCP or partner or somebody to work on a maybe a little more overt signage. It was kind of small, but I know you guys are putting it together, so. But we didn't have any issues. Not saying we won't have. I was impressed with everything. We didn't have anybody climbing a big pine tree or anything like that. So
Brian, did you find out? Hold on, John. Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Archie. Good evening. Just to kind of go over a monthly report, we had a total of 24 runs last month. 14 fire or rescue and EMS calls, 1 hazardous condition, 4 good intents, 1 fire, and 3 false alarms, 8 call for service. That you guys see in the there. Duly note to kind of note that our volunteers put in a total of 83.5 hours responding not only to incidents, but taking part in training and supporting them. So between everybody kind of putting that together, that was quite a bit of hours for the month of July. That's not including some of the stuff we'll kind of talk about here. Yeah, ISO meeting, we had on July 14th, myself, President Shane Childers and Josh. Both attended that and met with ISO representative John Baird. He asked for some of our current incident report data and some tanker data to help us lower our rating account out here as well. I think the meeting went really super well. Josh was well prepared to answer his questions about our hydro system and our water system here in town. And I think we haven't received any of the communication from them yet, but I think we're in a pretty good place to help kind of keep our rating here, and maybe even hopefully out in the county lower our rating actually. So Steve League Day went off real well. We had quite a few people show up. It was a great opportunity to honor Steve and his 60 years of service, and it's great to see the fire marshal there last month giving him a medal. Along with
one of our other, yes, of course, we partnered up with the JCP and tried to help them out. We got to introduce our new fire safety trailer that we purchased in Zionsville last month. Although the weather was kind of rainy and dusty, didn't get a whole lot of people through there, but we're looking forward to having that in some of our other community events. On that note, coming up to the month of October, is Fire Prevention Month. One of our firefighters, David Weather, he will be, he's our fire safety educator. And we're going to be out for it. Well, teaching all our kids fire safety with that training. So we have an awesome opportunity to be able to educate our kids on fire safety and some of the different things. And we'll highlight some more, hopefully after the end of October, and go into that. Other than that, our Toast a Truck event is coming up September 12th as our local food drive. I encourage everybody to attend. We're kind of putting that together, starting to really kind of roll the ball on it, get that going. So hopefully we can match what kind of food we gave them last year and be able to get them stocked up for Thanksgiving. On the fire safety trailer note, I talked just before this about us just writing a check to NES to be able to give to the town of Zionsville. He said that he was going to check into that and kind of see if that was okay or not. If so, that was the only indication I had kind of about that. They got us kind of that wrapped up here in the next couple of weeks, so we can get that together.
Right, so they don't want to give us a list like this, says in the contract.
Oh, it says that they would provide this once they purchase the or kind of order the equipment.
They would provide a list to us of what to purchase,
Yeah.
of what product.
Okay.
They were going to stick with that. Yeah.
I can pay for that. That was their different project and,
And then everybody has to sign that, and that's gonna take a long time. Not just you guys, but them too.
Yeah. Okay.
So if that's what they wanna do, then we'll get the amendment.
Okay. Well, I'll talk with their chief egg order as well to see if that's what they want to do and decide how they want to do that. Any other questions for me? You guys got?
Thank you, Joe. Elgin Planning. Quite busy. We're quite busy. Permits issued, 1, 2. 7 permits issued. Lots of inspections. And applications submitted and not yet approved would be 7. Oh. Any questions for the building inspections and permits? JCP?
The fish fry was quite a big kind of for the weather and everything. I believe it was a huge success. I know a lot of people worked really hard, mainly most of them that I see here worked really hard to get that building in usable condition. So my hat's off to you and thank you for that. Also the community kind of all got together and were able to put something on, For the numbers, we got the numbers kind of early this year. We're able to, the JCP meeting last night. We are really close to what we were last year. Last year we did 475 fillets were sold. This year was 450 served anyways. So hot dogs, same thing. We were pretty much dead on hot dogs. So, and then church service following was estimated 125 people. So it was a big success. So maybe something, I do believe it's something that we're going to look into. Maybe a possibility of doing it again. So everything else with the rain, I'm not sure about the snow cone and all that stuff, but the weather was terrible, but the bounce houses got wore out. So that's that's really all I have. I mean, we're really comparable to the year before, so that's nothing to be worried about, you know? And for kind of relearning everything and figuring things out, I think we did really well.
And there was
Everything.
splendid right there.
We have,
And that's really good. I mean.
yeah, I think we got blessed with some good weather there first but what we noticed was I believe there's a little less kids at this one and more adults. So I mean, essentially the head count was kind of the same. But I thought I saw a lot more adults there than what there was the last year. So, either way, the sales was good. Really comparable. So,
Well, I'd like to thank everybody that took part in that. I think it was a very nice event, very nice event. I know it's a lot of work, and I thought the church service was wonderful, and it just made it even more special being in the pavilion. But the service itself was just about community and about God, but you know, community, and that we are a community and we care about each other, and it just was very nice. So thank you all. Thank you for letting me have it, and thank God for all the work you did.
I thought everyone involved and everyone volunteered. It was a big deal. And then everybody just kind of stayed to the grind, and we were busy the whole time. Steady. So you know, we had a lot of help to put it on. So we sure do appreciate that. That everyone knows.
What's your next event?
Oh, our next actual JCP sponsored event would be Halloween. The date on that, I don't know.
Halloween.
Yeah, the trick or treat.
Halloween.
Right on Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's on Halloween.
It's been a long week. Don't judge me. And then after that, we Christmas. The touch truck and the cider festival. Obviously, we're not sponsored or something. So.
Good. I would like to say something.
Yeah.
For somebody that grew up behind the park, it was very heartwarming to see the community finally getting back together to do a church service on Sunday there.
It was very nice.
Very, very nice. It really was.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
RDC.
Nothing to report.
My favorite one. Hey, a temple meeting.
Discriminate.
It's the last one.
Those being favorite.
First off, thank you for letting the farmers market be a part of the fish drive for a second year. Although not everybody showed up because of the weather. Those that did make a few bucks. Quick bit on the farmers market. The pancake breakfast dedication / farmers market thing that we had. That post prior to that, our most viewed post was only about 8,000 people or so. That particular post that circulated around, over 14,000 people viewed it. So there were a lot of people that were really curious about coming out. Probably, will come out, check it out at some point or another. The tools in the shed are all put together and organized. Still got to work on the center room. The Chinese silvergrass that you kill every year, Shane, up there by the front of the path, and we cut down for October, all of that is now gone and has been replanted. Me and Pam walked around the park last Thursday. I think this year's tree planting went better than the previous. We're not seeing as many sticks. There's a lot of foliage. I think it's part better success. We're doing a lot of prep for the Apple Festival. Getting everything lined up for that. As far as like supplies, things we need, things we want to do. I know Pam just sent out 50 vendor applications today, I think, to prior vendors. So those will start trickling in. Music's already lined up. And last thing is thank you again for the whole alcohol sales thing. I know that took a lot of work from a lot of y'all. They sort all that out. Hopefully for Cider Fest, not only we'll have a Mexican place, but we'll also have Ash and Elm out there as well. Selling their cider. Kind of makes sense for them to be out there. That's all I got, unless you got something for me.
Thank you very much, Jason. Moving on, there is still, Jason is still looking for one appointment for the park board.
5 years now.
RDC meets, August 13th at 6:30. Park boards meets August 25th at 6 p.m. The BCA will meet August 6th at 6 p.m. and the planning commission will meet immediately following August 6th. If there is nothing further, Cookie,
I move we adjourn the meeting.
all in favor? Meeting adjourned 8:15.
That's